So this is Purnachandra Reddy V. So in lecture 4 part 1 we discussed about law of mass action and so what is drift current. Okay, so law of mass action states that at any fixed temperature the product of Wolf's concentration and electron concentration is constant and is independent of the donor or acceptor impurity added to it. Okay. So now in the lecture part 1 we stopped because we couldn't see equations. Okay, now it is okay. So now if you see drift current of electrons and drift current of holes. Okay, if you see, so the electron drift current Jn is equal to nq mu n into E, and for the holes it is Jp is equal to pq mu p into E. So already we know n is electron concentration, p is holes concentration. So mu n is mobility of electrons, where mu p is mobility of holes. E is the applied electric field, Q is the charge of electron and hole. Okay, so next we will see about diffusion current. So before going to that, first of all, we should know the total drift current, that is drift current due to electron and drift current due to holes. So that is J is equal to Jn plus Jp. So if you put those equations here, that is electron current density, that is nq mu n into E, holes current density, that is pq mu p into E. If you put J is equal to Jn plus Jp, so J becomes Q into N mu N plus P mu P into E. So now here the conductivity sigma is defined as sigma is equal to Q into N mu N plus P mu P. So once you know conductivity, you can easily find resistivity, that is rho is equal to 1 by sigma. So here if you observe for the n-type semiconductor, so already we know the electron concentration, you can say donor concentration, that is nothing but electron concentration is very much high compared to holes concentration. That's why you can ignore P here. So now conductivity of the n-type semiconductor becomes almost equal to nq mu n. So here we are neglecting PQ maybe. So when it comes to p-type semiconductor, we know holes concentration or acceptor concentration is very large compared to the electron concentration. So that is P is far greater than N. So that's why we are ignoring NQ mu n term in sigma. Now p-type semiconductor, the conductivity becomes sigma is equal to approximately equal to PQ mu P. So in the above, about N is the donor concentration. Here the P is nothing but acceptor concentration, which is nothing but hole concentration. Okay, so this is about drift current. Now we'll see about diffusion current. So now what is diffusion process? It is a natural process, happens in any natural process which is happening in semiconductor or any other material. Okay, so this is due to, already I told you, mismatch of concentration of charge carriers in semiconductor. Okay, so now diffusion nature attempts to reduce the concentration gradient to zero, that is nothing but high concentration to low concentration when charge carriers or something else is moving from high concentration to low concentration, then the gradient becomes zero. So in semiconductors, this flow of carriers from one region of higher concentration to the lower concentration results in a diffusion current because of movement of charge carriers from high concentration to the low concentration. There will be flow of current, that is nothing but diffusion current. The process is known as diffusion process. Okay, for electrons and holes, the diffusion current is nothing but is defined as for holes, the diffusion current can be written as Jp. Diffusion, for diffusion current we are using the DIFF. So it is defined as minus Q into dP into dou P by dou X. Dou P by dou X is the holes. Concentration of gradient related to holes. Okay, Q is the charge of the holes, dP is the diffusion length of the holes. Okay, now this is the process, diffusion process for for the holes and electrons. So already we know the so the diffusion current diffusion current due to holes and electrons, that is opposite in so if you see any current, if it is current due to holes and current due to electrons, that is opposite to each other. So here you can clearly observe, even it is for drift or for diffusion process, the currents, both currents are in opposite direction. Here the Jp is in moving towards left, Jn is moving towards right. Okay. So already we know the diffusion is nothing but movement of charge carriers from high concentration region to the low concentration region. Now here we will see electron diffusion current, that is denoted with the Jn DIFF. DIFF is for diffusion current. So there it is minus q dp into dou b by dou x. Here it is q dn into dou n by dou x. So next where q is the charge of the electrons, dn is the diffusion length of electrons. Where there dp is the diffusion length of holes. So diffusion length is what, how far they are moving from one region to the other region, that is nothing but diffusion length. If it is electron diffusion length. If it is hole, if it is holes, it is holes diffusion length. Okay, Jn is the diffusion current density of electrons. Now total current density due to electrons is nothing but so we are having two terms, the current density due to drift process, current density due to the diffusion process. So that's why the total current density due to electrons is nothing but current density of electrons due to diffusion process plus current density of electrons due to drift process. Okay, so drift for the due to drift process, the current density is nothing but nq mu n into E. Due to diffusion process, that is nothing but q dn into dou n by dou x. Dou n by dou x is nothing but electrons concentration gradient. So here n is electron concentration, mu n is mobility of electrons, dn is diffusion length of electrons. Okay, so this is nothing but current density due to electrons, which includes two parts, current density due to drift process, current density due to diffusion process. Now we'll see total current density due to this is electrons. This is due to holes, but a suffix where there is a mistake in suffix. So that is Jp is equal to total current density due to holes, that is Jp is equal to current density of holes due to drift process, current density due to holes because of diffusion process. So drift current due to holes is nothing but pq mu p into E. So diffusion current due to holes is nothing but minus q dp into dou p by dou x. Okay, already you know all those terms, like P is hole's concentration, Q is charge of hole, and mu P is the mobility of hole, and E is the applied electric field, dP is the diffusion length of holes, dou P by dou X is hole's concentration gradient. So this is about drift and diffusion current in semiconductors. Okay, so drift current is due to applied electric field or applied voltage. Diffusion current is due to natural process of diffusion. Okay. Okay, next we'll see formation of PN junction, that is without bias or without applying any external voltage or external electric field. Okay, so now already we know, we studied about p-type material and p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. So just we revise p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor before going to formation of PN junction. Okay, so p-type and n-type, both are extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, so suppose we are adding pentavalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor, then that becomes n-type semiconductor. N-type, you can say n-type semiconductor. Okay, why? Because if you see the intrinsic semiconductor, the silicon and germanium, they are having 4 valence electrons. Suppose we are adding pentavalent impurity. Pentavalent impurity is nothing but the impurity which consists of 5 valence electrons. So out of these 5 valence electrons, the 4 valence electrons, they are in covalent bond with the 4 valence electrons of adjacent silicon atoms or germanium atoms. So the other electron which is not participating in covalent bonding, that is nothing but free electron. So the small amount of pentavalent impurity contributes millions of free electrons. That's why the material is nothing but n-type material. So in n-type material, the majority charge carriers are electrons. The minority charge carriers are holes. Okay, so that's about n-type semiconductor. Next we will see p-type semiconductor. So suppose we are adding trivalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. So for trivalent impurity, we consider example as boron. So trivalent is nothing but we are adding trivalent impurity is nothing but the impurity which is having 3 valence electrons in its valence shell or outermost shell. So the 3 valence electrons present in trivalent impurity, they are in covalent bond with the 3 valence electrons of the intrinsic material like silicon and germanium. But still there is one vacant space present in trivalent impurity. So that vacant space is nothing but hole which is ready to accept electron. So that's why the trivalent impurities are nothing but acceptor impurities. Okay, so even small amount of trivalent impurity contributes to millions of holes. So the in p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are holes. The minority charge carriers are electrons. So the current is mainly due to holes in p-type semiconductor. The current is mainly due to electrons in n-type semiconductor. So in p-type semiconductor, we neglect holes concentration. In n-type semiconductor, we ignore holes concentration. In p-type semiconductor, we ignore, we can say, don't say ignore, we can neglect, electron concentration. Okay, so that's about n-type material. So once you know clearly about n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor, now we can discuss about p-n junction. So p-n junction, to form p-n junction, first of all we need p-type material and n-type material, or p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. So here, we can see one more time, like the n-type semiconductor is how to form n-type semiconductor means by adding pentavalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. So how to form p-type semiconductor? By adding trivalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so already we discussed next point, that is in n-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are like electrons, minority charge carriers are like holes. So if you consider p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are like holes and the minority charge carriers are like electrons. So in n-type semiconductor has large number of free electrons, whereas p-type semiconductor has large number of holes. Already we discussed clearly about these things in lecture 3. So now we can observe a figure related to p-type and n-type semiconductor. So here you can see in p-type the red dots are free electrons and white dots are holes. You can clearly observe the holes concentration is very much high compared to electron concentration in p-type semiconductor. Okay, why? Because the added impurity is trivalent impurity. The small amount of impurity contributes to millions of holes. Okay, so if you you can also see n-type semiconductor. In n-type semiconductor, the electron concentration is very much high compared to holes concentration. Why? Because the added impurity is pentavalent impurity, which the small amount of added pentavalent impurity contributes to millions of free electrons. So the pictorially you can see here clearly, that is p-type is dominating with the hole concentration. N-type is dominating with the electrons concentration. Okay. So now we'll see how to form p-n junction. Okay, so already what is junction means. Junction means you can see daily life, if 2 or 3 roads are joining at a point, that is nothing but a junction. Or if you consider train tracks, if the 2 tracks are measured at one point, suppose if you see some example of a junction is like Vijayawada junction, means there many routes are joined at one place, that's why it is called as a junction. Similarly, in when you connect p-type material and n-type material, there will be one junction, like it is called as p-n junction. So generally junction refers to a point where two or more things are joined. Already I explained, I given example. One example is road junction. Other example is trains junction. For different routes, if they are combining at some point, that is nothing but a junction. Okay, so when an n-type semiconductor is joined with the p-type semiconductor, so how to form p-n junction means we are joining n-type semiconductor with p-type semiconductor, then there will be junction. The junction is nothing but p-n junction. Why? Because we are using p-type and n-type materials there. So the region where the p-type and n-type semiconductors joined is called p-n junction. Okay, so we are suppose two roads are joining, that is nothing but we can name like some junction there. Okay, similarly for different train tracks, if they are meeting at some point, the junction, we are giving some name to that. Since we are using p-type material and n-type material, we are joining. Okay, so the region where p and n-type semiconductors are joined is nothing but a p-n junction. Okay, so it can be sometimes it is also defined as a boundary between p-type and n-type semiconductors. Okay, so p-n junction forms a most popular. So when you merge, don't say merging. When you join p-type material and n-type material, there will be one famous device, very much popular device, that is nothing but PN diode, that is PN junction diode. Okay, so by using PN junction diodes, we can construct a transistor, that is PNP transistor or NPN transistor. So PNP transistor consists of two PN junctions. NPN transistor also consists of two PN junctions. Okay, so this is about formation. We can continue with this discussion. So here when we join p-type n-type material, there will be junction. That junction is nothing but p-n junction. Now we can see clearly pictorially in the slide, so in the previous slide, previous slides we saw p-type and n-type separately. Now we are joining p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. So the between point, the line which is in between p-type and n-type is nothing but junction. So the junction here particularly it is called as p-n junction. Why? Because we are using two types of semiconductors. One is p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor to form this p-n junction. To form this junction, that's why the junction is known as p-n junction. Okay, so here we can see p-type. In p-type the majority carriers are holes. In n-type you can clearly see the majority carriers are electrons. Okay, so this is the you can say pictorially you can see how to form p-n junction. Okay, by using p-type and n-type materials or p-type and n-type semiconductors. Okay, now you can see p-n junction is also a fundamental building block of many other semiconductor electronic devices such as transistors, solar cells, like LEDs and integrated circuits. Already in the before last slide I clearly explained to manufacture transistor we use p-n diodes. If it is NPN transistor, it is having NPN or PNP transistor. Both are having two p-n junction diodes. Okay, you can also use this p-n junction in solar cells and LEDs manufacturing and IC manufacturing. Okay, so diodes are the simplest form of all the semiconductor device. Why? Because it is the basic p-n junction diode. Okay, so the way we are using p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor to form a diode, to form a junction. So the diode which is coming from these two materials is nothing but p-n junction diode. That is the simplest form of all semiconductor devices. Okay, so in n-type semiconductor materials like pentavalent. So how to form n-type semiconductor? By adding pentavalent impurities, we can so n-type semiconductor is formed because of adding pentavalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. When it comes to p-type semiconductor, when we add trivalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor, then it becomes as a p-type semiconductor. Okay, if the impurity is added to p-type and n-type semiconductor material, when you add impurity, the concentration of charge carriers is not uniform in both p-type and n-type. When you add trivalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor, so the electrons concentration is more. When we add trivalent impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor, we can form p-type semiconductor. There holes concentration is very high. Okay, so if the impurities added to the p-type and n-type semiconductor materials are not uniform, okay, that then at one region large number of charge carriers are present, and in another region small number of charge carriers are present because of non-uniform addition of impurities to the p-type and n-type material. Okay, so this non-uniform doping charge carriers at high concentration region, they repel from each other and move towards the, so means so if you consider n-type material, we are having more number, high concentration of electrons. So already we know the similar charges are repelled with each other, and opposite charges are attracted by each other. So if you consider n-type semiconductor, so there we are having high concentration of electrons. So those concentration of because of those electrons which are having similar charge, they repel with each other, and they move towards high concentration region to the low concentration region to achieve the uniform concentration. Okay, so it may be p-type or n-type semiconductor. So the p-type semiconductor, it is having high concentration of holes. So those holes, they repel with each other, and they start moving from high concentration region to the low concentration region to achieve the uniform concentration all over the material. Okay, if it is n-type material, electrons moves from high concentration to low concentration. If it is p-type, holes moves from high concentration region to the low concentration region to achieve the uniform concentration over the uniform concentration all over the material. Okay, so now the PN junction in which no external voltage is applied is called as zero bias PN junction, or you can say unbiased PN junction. So without applying external voltage, suppose if you consider PN junction without applying any external voltage or external electric field, it is known as zero bias PN junction, or you can say unbiased PN junction. Okay, so next point, in n-type semiconductors, large number of free electrons present, while at p-type semiconductor, small number of free electrons are present. Okay, so already we know that in n-type semiconductor, the electron concentration is very high. In p-type semiconductor, the electrons concentration is very low. Okay, so the concentration of electrons at n-type semiconductor is high, while the concentration of electrons at p-type semiconductor is low. Okay. Yes, we know that. Why? Because already I explained. N-type means the dominant concentration is electrons. P-type means the dominant concentration is holes. That's why in N-type the concentration of electrons is very very high. In P-type the concentration of electrons is low. So due to this high concentration of electrons at N-type, so because of high concentration they get repelled with each other. Why? Because they are similar charges. So okay, they try to move towards the low concentration. Obviously, I explained clearly, when they repel with each other, they are trying to move from high concentration region to the low concentration region. Okay, they try to move towards the low concentration region. So the free electrons from N side are attracted towards the hole set P side. Okay, yes, when the electrons moves towards the junction, so these free electrons in N-type material, they attracted towards the holes in the p-type. Why? Because electron and hole, they are opposite in charge, they attract with each other. That's why. So in N-type the electrons concentration is very high. Because of high concentration of electrons, though the electrons repel with each other, then they starts moving from high concentration region to the low concentration region. So when they move to the junction, near to the junction, So the electrons present in n type, they attracted towards the holes at the p side. Okay, so next point, the free electrons move from n region to the p region. So why? Because in n type electron concentration is very high, in p type the electrons concentration is very low. So that's why the electrons are moving from high concentration region to the low concentration region. In that way, the electrons present in n type material, they are moving to p-type material. That is, in n-type the concentration is high, in p-type the concentration of electrons is low. That's why they are moving from n-type to the p-type, that is high concentration to the low concentration. Okay, so we'll continue here. You can see clearly, if you see p-type and n-type material here, so so the electrons present in n-type material, the concentration is very high. Because of high concentration, the electrons they repel with each other. Then they starts moving from high concentration region to the low concentration region. Then where is the low concentration region present? So the electrons concentration is low in p-type. So that's why the electrons in n-type, they starts moving from n-type to the p-type. Why? Because in p-type the electron concentration is low. So in this way the electrons are attracted by holes in p side. Okay, now so you can also see the red dots are like electrons, white dots are like holes. Okay, so the electrons, red dots, they are moving, they are trying to moving from high concentration region present on n side to the low concentration region present on p side. Okay, so once electron, similarly the holes in p-type semiconductor, they repel with each other, and they starts moving towards high concentration region to the low concentration region. In p-type the holes concentration is very high, in n-type the holes concentration is low. That's why the holes present in p-type, they starts moving from p-type to the n-type. So okay, once electrons moving from n-type to the p-type, they occupying free space, that is hole in p-type, immediately it becomes negative ion. Okay, similarly the hole present in p-type, when they move it to n-type material, it becomes positive ion. Okay, so in the above figure we are calling them as holes and free electrons. In the below figure we are calling them as ions. So the negative ion and positive ion. Okay, now you can see clearly in p-type semiconductor large number of holes is present, while at n-type semiconductor small number of holes is present. Already I explained clearly. So because of this the concentration of holes at p-type semiconductor is high, while the concentration of holes at n-type semiconductor is low. Okay, why? Because in p-type the concentration of holes is very high. Why? Because it is doped with trivalent impurity. Okay, so the holes from p-type are attracted towards the free electrons at the n-type. I clearly explained in n-type material. So the electrons present on n-type material, they are attracted towards holes in p-type material. So in n-type material the concentration of electrons is very high. Because of that they repel with each other, they start moving towards low concentration region. So while they are moving from high concentration to low concentration, so the free electrons present in n-type material, they are attracted towards holes in p-type material. Now when it comes to p-type material, the holes in p-type the holes concentration is very high, so they repel with each other and they starts moving from high concentration region to the low concentration region. Okay, so while they are moving from high concentration to the low concentration region, they attracted towards the electrons present in n-type material, or n side you can say simply. In this way the holes move from p-type, that is high concentration region, to the n region, that is low concentration region. Whereas in n-type material, so you can say same point as like the free electrons move from n region, that is their electron concentration is high in n region, here the hole's concentration is high in p region. Okay, so their electrons concentration is low in p region, here the hole's concentration is low in n region. That's why there from n region to electrons movement from n region to p region, here the hole's movement from p region to the n region. Okay, I hope everybody, everyone understood clearly. So you can see, this picture clearly explains, what is the moment of electrons from n type to the p type, and moment of holes from p type to the, or you can say p region to the n region, or p side to the n side. Okay, so next we will see when the atom gains an extra electron from the outside atom, it will become, say, negative ion. Okay, the electron from n type to, when it is moving from n type to p type, immediately the free electron becomes negative ion. Similarly, so the hole from p type to the hole which is moving from p type to the n type, immediately it becomes positive ion. So negative ions are also called as acceptors, because they accept extra electron from outside atoms. Okay, so each free electron that crosses the junction to fill the hole in the p side, already I clearly explained in the figure itself. There the electrons which are moving from n type to the p type, so they contributes to negative ions. Okay, each free electron contributes to one negative ion. How many electrons they are moving from n type to the p type, those many negative ions present on p type. Similarly, so the holes from p type to moving from p type to n type, they contributes to positive ion. So the number of positive ions in n type is decided by number of holes they are moving from p type to the n type. Okay, immediately when the hole crosses this junction, it becomes positive ion, p type to n type. So when electron when electron crosses this junction from n type to the p type, immediately it becomes as negative ion. So in that way, each free electron that crosses the junction to fill the hole in the p side creates the negative ion on the p side. So when the atom loses an electron, it will becomes an positive ion. Okay, so yes, okay, now positive ions are also called as donors, because they donate extra electron to the outside atom. So each free electron that left at the n side parent atom and crosses the junction to fill the hole present in the p side, that creates positive ion at n side. Okay, so in this way, the electrons and holes movement from p type material to the n type material, or n type material to the p type material. So the everything, the movement of electrons or holes is because of to maintain the the uniform concentration all over the material. So that's why the electrons which are having in n type, the electrons concentration is very high. In p type, the electrons concentration is very low. That's why, so the electrons present in n type, they starts moving from n type to the p type. Similarly, in p type, the holes concentration is very high, whereas in n type material, the holes concentration is very low. So that's why the holes present in p type, they starts moving from p type material to the n type material to maintain the uniform concentration all over the material. So in that process, when they crosses boundary or junction, so it forms positive ions and negative ions. Okay, so in this way, so we can form p-n junction by using p type material and n type material. Okay, now so this is about discussion about law of mass action. Next one, drift current and diffusion current, and formation of p-n junction. Now we conclude this session with brief discussion about these three topics again. So that is, first we starts with the law of mass action. So law of mass action, we discussed for intrinsic semiconductors, extrinsic semiconductors. In extrinsic semiconductors, especially for the n-type semiconductor and also for p-type semiconductor. So law, how to define law of mass action for intrinsic semiconductors? So at a fixed temperature, the electrons concentration and holes concentration remain. The product of electron concentration and holes concentration remains same at fixed temperature and is remains don't say remains same, it is constant at fixed temperature, and moreover it is independent of the type of donor or acceptor impurity added to it. Okay, so that is N into P is equal to Ni square. N is the electron concentration, P is the holes concentration. But when it comes to extrinsic semiconductors, the product of majority charge carriers and minority charge carriers is remains constant at low fixed temperature and is independent of the type of impurity added to it. It may be donor impurity or acceptor impurity. But when it comes to N-type semiconductor, it is defined like this: the majority charge carriers in N-type, they are electrons. The product of majority charge carriers, that is electrons, and minority charge carriers, holes. The product remains constant at fixed temperature and is independent of the type of impurity added to it. So we can define simply like Nn into Pn is equal to Ni square, where Nn is the electrons concentration in N-type material, or you can say N-type semiconductor. Pn is the holes concentration in N-type semiconductor. Okay. Similarly, for P-type semiconductor, you can define like the product of majority charge carriers, they are nothing but holes, and minority charge carriers, electrons, is remains constant at fixed temperature, and moreover it is independent of the type of impurity added to it. Okay, so this is about law of mass action, which we discussed in part 1 of lecture 4. Okay, there we also discussed about two types of currents, that is drift current and diffusion current. So drift current is because of applied electric field or applied voltage. Okay, when you apply external electric field or external voltage, there will be movement of electrons and holes. Because of movement of electrons and holes, there will be current, that is nothing but drift current due to electrons and holes. So there we discussed about electron current density and holes current density, and so electron current density is nothing but NQ mu n into E. Holes concentration is nothing but PQ mu P into E. N is electron concentration, P is holes concentration, Q is the charge, mu n and mu P are mobility of holes and mobility of electrons and mobility of holes, where E is the applied electric field. So the total current density is defined as J is equal to Jn plus Jb, that is current density due to electrons and drift current density due to holes. So finally you can write it as J is equal to NQ mu n into E plus PQ mu P into E. So simply you can write J is equal to sigma into E, where sigma is the conductivity, that is sigma is equal to NQ mu n plus PQ mu P. But when you consider N-type semiconductor or the N-type material, holes electron concentration is very much high compared to the holes concentration. That's why N is far greater than P. So now you can ignore PQ mu P for N-type semiconductors. That's why the conductivity sigma is approximately equal to NQ mu n. Okay, so when it comes to P-type semiconductors, the holes concentration is very much high compared to the electrons concentration. So in that way, P is far greater than N. So here you can neglect NQ mu n into N into Q into mu n. Okay, so that's why the current density for P-type semiconductors is approximately, don't say current density, the conductivity of P-type semiconductors is approximately equal to PQ into mu P. P is the holes concentration, mu P is the mobility of holes, Q is the charge of the hole. Okay, then we discussed about diffusion current due to electrons and diffusion current due to holes. So the diffusion is a natural phenomena, occurs in any material because of unequal concentration of carrier. You can say particles. You can say in for semiconductors, you can say unequal concentration of electrons and holes. Okay. So the charge carriers always trying to move from high concentration region to the low concentration region. So because of this movement of charge carriers from high concentration to the low concentration, there will be flow of current. That current is nothing but diffusion current. So diffusion current is due to natural process, that is nothing but a diffusion process. Okay, so I mean if you consider the diffusion current for the electrons, that is q dn into dou n by dou x. Q is the charge, dn is the diffusion length of electrons, dou n by dou x is the concentration gradient of electrons. Similarly, for the p-type, for the holes, the diffusion current is Jp diffusion is equal to minus q dp into dou p by dou x. dp is the diffusion length of holes, dou p by dou x is the concentration gradient of holes. Okay. So now finally, what is the current density due to electrons? Current density due to electrons, Jn includes current density current density of electrons due to drift process and current density due to electrons due to diffusion process. That is Jn is equal to Jn drift plus Jn diffusion. That is nq mu n into E plus q dn dou n by dou x. Okay. Similarly, for the holes, that is Jp is equal to Jp drift plus Jp diffusion. Jp drift is nothing but P into Q into mu P into E minus Q dP dou P by dou x. So this is about drift and drift current and diffusion current in semiconductors. Next, we discussed about the formation of p-n junction. So to form p-n junction, we need two materials, p-type material and n-type material. So when you join p-type and n-type materials, then it becomes p-n junction. Okay. So when you form p-n junction, the n side is having a high concentration of electrons. They starts moving to n-type to the p-type. Why? Because to maintain uniform concentration all over the material. Similarly, the p-type consists of high concentration of holes. Those holes in p-type, they are trying to move from p-type material to the n-type material. Here also to maintain the uniform concentration all over the material. Okay, so once electrons they are moving from n to the p, they becomes negative ions. So the holes from p to n type, they becomes positive ions. So in this way we can form p-n junction. So here the moment of holes and the moment of electrons it occurs naturally. So that's why the biasing here it is known as unbiased, or you can say zero bias p-n junction. Okay, so this is about explanation about law of mass action and drift and diffusion currents, and last one is formation of p-n junction. Okay, so in the next lecture we'll continue with the p-n junction with bias. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.